Hi everyone, Assalamu alaikum, namaste, Sat Sri Akal. My name is Farheen Khan and you're watching the AZEEZA show. This week we're going to talk about activism through art. And in studio we have Khola Mazhar, welcome.
Thank you.
And online we've got Amtatul Wahid from the UK. Thank you for being here, both of you. And so let's start with you, Khola. Tell us, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
I doodle. I've always doodled, and that just kind of turned into painting when I had some free time, and then I just started getting more involved in art activities. I joined the Mississauga Arts Council, and I just kind of haven't stopped. I just kept going, haven't looked back. So.
Amazing. So like, what inspired, why art?
I don't know, I just always doodled. I like drawing, and I like painting. I'm a mom, I have 5 kids, and so like when they were all in school full time, I just had a lot of time on my hands, so I just started painting again. I had posted my paintings on social media, and a friend said that, you know, you should do an exhibition, and then she sent me links, and that's how I got my stuff up in Muslim Fest the first time. So, and just from there then I just, like, it was a kind of like a therapy. It's great therapy, just picking up the paintbrush and, you know, creating things, playing with the color and stuff. So I never stopped, and then I just got more serious about it, and I joined the Art Council, and they've been very supportive. They're like great, so it's, I do different events now. I do exhibitions whenever I can.
That's wonderful. So Amta, I'll ask you the same question. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
As you know, my name's Amtatul Wahid. I'm a female British Muslim visual artist situated in Yorkshire, in England. My art and the media of my art varies through the evolution of my practice. At present, I'm exploring it through digital illustration. The topic of that is the Muslim woman and the stigma encompassing them within the Muslim Pakistani community.
Very cool. So, Khola, you know, do you think that, would you identify yourself as being an artist that is sort of doing activist work?
Yeah, when I get the chance. I mean, it's a great way to send a message. It's a nice way to have a conversation about things that people often feel uncomfortable about talking, or like sometimes you don't actually have to talk about it. The art, you know, just kind of does it.
Yeah.
So it's.
Can you give us an example of like the kind of stuff that you've done in terms of the issues that you're sort of trying to highlight? The
first kind of exhibition I did with a friend, we kind of focused on women's issues, particularly South Asian women. I covered topics like joint family system and physical abuse, or you know, any kind of abuse that they go through, and resilience, like, you know, how they deal with it and come out, and, you know, there's so many strong women, and it's nice to appreciate them. I'm working on an exhibition right now that I have been working on since last year about immigration and women, and it was important to me because, like, my parents were immigrants, and, you know, you kind of know all the stories and the experiences, but, like, I feel like unless you're an immigrant, or, you know, or you know, first generation Canadian or whatever, like, people don't really kind of know what exactly it is when you face different issues. So I kind of wanted to do that. There's a group of us, there's 8 artists all together, and we're all doing like little different aspects of what immigration is. So I brought one painting. I don't know if you can, so it's, this is kind of like not the not so pretty one. It's dealing with racism. And for me it was kind of like, I usually don't paint like that, but I felt it was important to be able to say this. And it's basically like experiences you've had of someone coming up to you and saying, like, you don't belong here, go back home. Or like, I've had people tell me to hop on a plane and go back, and I'm like, yeah, that's, I was like born in Newmarket, so I don't need a plane to do that. But it's kind of hard to deal with, you know, it's for
sure. And I mean, you know, they say like a picture speaks 1,000 words, right? Like it's wonderful that, I mean, it's sad, but it's very powerful.
And I mean, it's just something that needs to be said, and it's nice to be able to say it with art. Sometimes you can't find the right words, and I find like there's a lot of heated arguments back and forth. So this is just like saying my statement without all the arguments.
Right.
Yeah.
And so let me ask Amta the same question. Amta, what do you consider yourself to be someone who's an artist doing activist type work? And if so, what kind of issues are you highlighting?
My practice mirrors my experience as a British Muslim woman and the strife with societal issues such as honour, shame and culture. Throughout my work, I delve deeper into the deep-rooted issues within my community, my Pakistani Muslim community, such as gendered stereotypes, the female body, cultural tensions and the perceptions and the expectations of a Muslim woman. At present, my practice is exploring the effects and the perceptions of the menstrual cycle within the South Asian Muslim community. I'm exploring proverbs throughout the language Urdu, which is my native tongue for my specific community. It currently emulates how it has shaped the foreseen reputation and the fate of a Muslim woman. That is what I'm doing currently through digital illustrations.
Yeah, and particularly with Amta's work, like, I mean, some of the stuff is really powerful in terms of the images that you'll be able to see on the screen. Yeah, thanks for doing that. I think both of you, like, it's incredible that we have this opportunity to really use art as a medium, I think, right? And I mean, and painting and you know, graphics are one element of it. I mean, art is so vast, right?
Yeah.
But it's just that idea of being able to kind of, you know, put your thoughts into some sort of, you know, artwork, if you will, or art form, if you will, right?
Yeah.
To be able to share that and in a way that others can visually or, you know, audibly like engage and really hear the message.
Yeah. I think visual storytelling is like really, it's great. And there's so much like powerful art out there, and it's, you know, there's so much you can say with it. So it's a great platform to like spoken, whether it's like literary art, literature or like visual art.
Right,
so.
right. And you've been doing all kinds of different art too, right? Like what kind of art, like, I know that you've been doing different types of art. Can you tell us the types of sort of artwork that you do?
Well, I like realism, so, and definitely to say, you know, any kind of message, realism always works really well. I like doing seascapes, so I do a lot of those, and I also like playing around with resin, which is a mixed media kind of material, and it's super shiny, and I really like shiny things, so I will take a break and just do some of those, and it's great because like it's not just you for your wall. You can, you know, make I don't know, cover anything like little table coasters or trays or stuff like
Very
that.
cool.
So,
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be right back after this. Hi everyone, welcome back. We're just talking about art or activism through art. So before the break, we were talking to Khola, and so I'm going to just ask Amta the same question. So what was the, you know, what kind of art do you do, and just a little bit more about sort of what type of mediums you're using.
I would consider myself a feminist, and I feel like if you're a feminist, then you are an activist. I do believe that I'm using my art as a way to make a change and to bring the issues to the forefront and highlight them through my art, and that's through visual art, digital illustrations, or whatever my project is at that time.
And so, Khola, why don't we start with you? Could you tell us, you know, what kind of impact has your art had? Or have you seen any reactions or responses from people on some of the work that you've done?
I think the ones I did with the women's empowerment exhibition that I did, it was really nice to hear the feedback on it. People were like, yeah, like for one topic I had covered was like of the South Asian kind of joint family, like when women get married, you know, we dress them all up, they're like dolls, princesses, and then they go in and then the next day they're like, okay, this is, for some people, unfortunately, it can be a war zone.
Right.
So it was interesting for people who don't, aren't familiar with the culture to know that, this goes on. And of course, like having older South Asian women also come in and, having that conversation with them that, this happens, and they're like, yeah, you're right, and we do need to change the way we raise our sons, or like the way we think about our daughter-in-laws and stuff like that. So that was nice. And the exhibition I'm planning for that is coming up in May, so that I'm hoping to get some feedback.
And this has not been shown before.
This painting hasn't been shown before, so I'd like to see what kind of reactions I get.
For sure.
And hopefully it'll make a good difference.
I hope so. Yeah, I would hope that people would be able to, it'll spark some dialogue. People will start to say how they feel, right? And you might start to actually see some of the reactions of not just the women wearing the headscarves, but also those that are, potentially the perpetrators, right?
Yeah, right.
Like what their experience is or how they see this sort of play out, right? Yeah, that's great. So I'm going to ask Amta, what about you? What's been the impact of your artwork? I know some of your pieces are pretty provocative, so I'm just curious to see what people have said to you.
What I'm trying to highlight through my work, like I said, it goes back to what my practice is all about: gendered stereotypes and shame, honor, and what culture is all about. I think through my work I try to separate religion and culture and try to make people understand that those are two separate things and they shouldn't be mixed. Like I said, it is mainly based on what my life has been about and what I've experienced firsthand. Through my work I just try to highlight how it's okay for a Muslim woman to say yes and no, and how she should be able to live her life as much as a Muslim male would in his, and it's okay to reach for the stars, do whatever she likes, as much as a male would be able to do so as well. As you can see through my work, it's a running theme. It's very my work is very the woman's alienated and the man is more powerful. I think that just tries to show a message of how it has always been like that. The roles of a male and a female throughout multiple generations, and I think in my work I'm just trying to break that ice, and maybe just for people to look at it in a different perspective.
So do we have any last words in terms of the kind of advice that you would give to other people who are interested in getting into the arts?
Just keep practicing, and there's so many opportunities, depending on where you are. Join the art council, join different art groups, and keep painting, keep drawing, keep your practice up. Post your work. Sometimes it's kind of hard to do in the beginning because social media can be very cruel.
Right.
But post your work, and you follow other artists, you get feedback. Any chance you get, just join different community events for art. And yeah.
Are there groups where you have artists that are specifically doing sort of more of the social justice type things, or are there ways for them to engage in that too?
Yeah, definitely. I think anybody who's interested in that should just kind of approach the local group that they know about. It doesn't have to be a group of artists, but whoever is working with any kind of issues, that they should approach them and tell them that, hey, this is what I can do. If you guys want something visual, I can help you with that. And,
so if somebody's running a campaign or something, being able to kind of develop that material or the imagery, the visuals and stuff, which is amazing, right?
Yeah, and people are always appreciative, right? The more people you get on board, the better it is. And artists are it's great that you can express something with, pictures, so.
For sure, and I know that you've done my book cover for book number 3, which is amazing. So I'm still working on it, but I think there's such an amazing opportunity, right, for us to benefit. Just being able to go and get you know, sometimes a photograph isn't enough. Sometimes you want,
Yeah.
you really want, you know, a picture or a painting, so to speak,
Yeah.
that's very custom to what you want.
Yeah.
So I think there's definitely a place for it, and like doing social justice activism, it's always great to have artists like yourselves that are
And
like
I mean, artists have
putting
always
together.
been kind of involved in like,
Yeah.
whenever there have been issues, I think they always kind of get on that side
For
of
sure.
the activist side, so yeah.
For sure. Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
No worries. Okay, well, thank you for being on the show as well. And to the viewers, I mean, definitely take a look at art and think about how you can be involved, whether it's, you know, something that you do yourself, or if there's a way to engage artists into some of the work that you're doing in the community, definitely think about that. So until next week, take care.